Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to wherever you are. I am Woof.
And I'm ABilli Free.
Today we're going to watch and react to hopefully the latest masterpiece by Coke Studio season 15. That's called Harkalay. I believe it's in the Pashto language, which is the language of the so-called tribal areas as we hear about in the news. So these are the people you're going to see.
Nice.
Yeah, so without further ado, let's dive into it. 3, 2, 1, play.
Coke Studio, Season 15.
What is this aspect ratio?
What? Is this a movie?
Watching Dune.
Right?
Whoa.
Gorgeous.
Jwan zaman, jwan dasta, bela shane de. Harkalay, zakavam, zapa darwaze, stargo to. Rakai malakh kola, jhappase, sarvama, lakkale vane. Sarama, varpase, larda me khane, das lako. Sada shwadakh kola, us palle rage pa dunya. Suju me chibya dasi kolle, tami yo makam tera solle. Nasha mati za pipu yolle, kule wali de dasi kolle, dasi kolle, dasi kolle. Suju me chibya dasi kolle, tami yo makam tera solle, kule wali de dasi kolle, dasi kolle.
Black and no blue.
English.
Yep.
I'm on the move, ready whenever you're looking for deep breath and oh, if I run away, would you let me stay? Dancing with the distant magic, lightning in the love like static. Don't even understand it, it happens. I can see it's everlasting. I can hear the clouds, they roll, but you didn't think that I'd change. Said I would've thought, but it's too late. Hanging on the words that you don't say. Crazy you doing this to me. I can see it now, you were so late. You were so late, you were so late. Said you wouldn't call, but it's so late. Taking up my time, maybe you wait. I can see it now, you were so late. You were so late, you were so late.
Kalam is a warrior, kalam is a warrior, kalam is a warrior, kalam is a warrior, yeah. Kalam is a warrior, 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 kalam is a warrior.
I walk to the unknowns with you, grooving to the moon when I look at you.
Zaba shamas bilani sara
I walk to the unknowns with you, grooving to the moon when I look at you. From the other side, I sing it back to you.
Suja me chibya dasi kolle, tami yo makam tere solle. Asha mati za pipu yolle, kule wale di dasi kolle, kule wale di dasi kolle.
Suja me chibya dasi kolle, tami yo makam tere solle. Asha mati za pipu yolle,
Kule wale di dasi kolle, kule wale di dasi kolle, kule wale di dasi kolle.
Wow.
Well,
They made the fusion happen.
it's crazy.
Yeah, so the culture is, Pashtun culture is, we see it every day in the news, or we used to anyway during the war and terror. You know, these are real people. They have real cultures. I don't understand the language. I can pick out some words here and there, but my God, it's I can tell you this much, there's a little bit of a nuance that I could add. When I lived in Islamabad, I had a lot of like Pashtun like neighbors. So I ran into a lot of Pashtun people. I noticed like days that it didn't rain, like sometimes like some Pashtun kids would have this like black stuff on their face. I think it's a cultural thing where like some people would put on like charcoal or something on their kids' faces and then send them out to pray or just like kind of play in hopes that
Like
rain.
lint, right?
Yeah. I guess so. I guess so. But like that's that's one of the things they would do, and I think I saw some of that, which is like it's like such a weird subculture that's like in there. It's great. It's great, and language Pashto. It's like in every Hollywood blockbuster you see about war, the bad guy's language is always Pashto. Like it's almost always Pashto.
Mm.
Obama should sit down and watch this. This is the people he was sort of bombarding. You know, they're real people with incredible cultures. Uh, God, and the language sounded so sweet. The guy was singing Pashto, and so was the girl.
For a little bit.
Oh, but let's talk about the girl too. I mean, she's sounds like Camila Cabello, was it? Or something.
Yeah, that really caught me off guard, the English. And then like there's this like Afrobeat, like dembo, like drum pattern in here, right? With the English pop vocals, and it really caught me off guard. Uh and I don't have there's no judgment call on it, but it's very surprising. And it also for me speaks to the sort of expansion of Coke Studios, and also just the um the infusion of English everywhere. Everywhere you go, there's just English, right? And I have my reservations about that, but also it makes it, for me as an mostly English speaker, it makes it easy for me as a person who travels to communicate wherever I go. And it is an equalizer. It's a grand equalizer for a lot of things. So this is my comment on that. Um, the woman's voice, there were some things I liked about it, but for me, they were just mostly pop vocals. For the interpretation of pop vocals, I thought it was very clean. I thought it was crisp, but the lyrics that they gave her um, were great. Lightning in the love like static, thunder rumbled your name. Oh man, these things, right? Super beautiful, which brings us back to the poetry. I don't know if this is a sort of an ancient song redone, but
No, I think it's just a song about two people from different cultures trying to still make it happen.
yeah, beautiful writing. I love and let's while we're here on the lyrics, I want to talk about. It just feels like a lot of relationships, particularly a lot of young relationships in our Instagram age, and I'm not innocent of this, right? It feels like they're just triggering their attachment styles, right? She's like, why don't you call me? Or why did you call me so late? Or
Yeah.
why did you do this to me over and over again? I'm not sure what gulai, I'm not sure what it means, but it's almost like,
I think it means my love or something like that.
Okay.
If I had to
So
guess.
yeah, that's what it reminded me of, and I chuckled a little bit because this is kind of like typical young person relationship.
Yeah.
I mean, even elder millennial relationships these
Yeah.
days. I want to come to the visuals a little bit. I think
Yeah.
it's super interesting. Of course, beautiful, right? You were like, is this dune? Like the landscape is absolutely gorgeous. I'm wondering if this is the northern region
Yeah.
that they're
Yeah.
filming in.
Yeah. They're mountain
Um,
folks.
Amazing. It reminds me of where I live. Their use of mics is so interesting
Yeah.
because for me,
Yeah.
it's like not only did they catch me off guard with the English and then the beat, but they caught me off guard because they continue to use microphones, right? And I think this is really cool because when you look at videos like that, it's usually just the person mouthing the
Yeah.
lyrics, but they
Yeah.
want to
Yeah.
continue to use microphones. And I'm curious, but also respect the decision
Yeah.
because it signals to the audience that even if it's not, this is still something like a live performance aspect,
Yeah.
and I dig
Yeah.
that.
They're holding on to that. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Cool. Yeah.
I love the shots of the older people
Yeah.
with the beards, and then the woman with the chin tattoo. This
Yeah.
I thought was just spectacular. They did
Yeah.
some like shots of like a table with all sorts of trinkets and things on there.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
even like they kept coming back to one of the women who are playing percussion. I like that. I like her. I like seeing her, and I feel like I've seen her in other videos.
I think she's part of the house band.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then also the children were holding up their hands, and there was like some powder or something on their hands.
Yeah.
It was an interesting choice for me because there was really nothing like to
Yeah. Yeah.
connected to the video, but I'm wondering if it's a cultural thing. I'm wondering if it's like some sort of powder that they use in the north. Do you know anything about this?
I think they're just trying to preserve some local superstitious cultures that, like I was telling you about the thing with the
The
face.
charcoal.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
It probably has something to do with that. I mean, I'm sure there's some nuance to it in the maybe like the behind the scenes video.
Okay.
But I really think I agree with you with all the things you said about the girl singing the way she sings, particularly, and the lyrics and the you know the platform itself, started out with something completely different, and now what they're doing is they feel confident in the fact that they have uh these cultural treasures of music.
Mhm.
But what I feel like with this season, with Zulfi, the director, is probably doing is like trying to be more inclusive of like more marginalized cultures. Um, so I think there's a huge spotlight on that. People specifically, like, you don't see tattooed tribal women from the northern parts of Pakistan, which is just, I've never seen that. I lived there. I've never seen that. It's insane. The one thing that was constant in the whole song was the use of the stringed instrument called the rabab. That's typical of it's got a beautiful like
Was that the gourd? It looked like a
it,
gourd with the strings on it.
yeah, it's got like two, like it looks like two
Crazy.
circular things, and I don't know. I don't even know how to articulate that thing. And then the other thing was there's a clay pot that they play. The little tinny sound, tin 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 tin. That is a beautiful sound, and they use that to sort of create like a West African sort of Afro pop beat, or it sounded like it, but it wasn't. That's the thing. That's the fusion part, and the music part, and the way the people are singing. That's just Gen Z, and that's just how they're invading our space, ABilli. So we're gonna have to learn to like it. I appreciate and the third part, sorry, the third, going back to inclusion, the third part of the inclusion was I think he's trying to bring in people from the diaspora, which are desperate for identity, because and I have that issue too. I have major identity issues. I don't, when people ask me what my culture is, I'm like, I don't know. I live in DC, first of all. That's my culture. Insurrections. But other than that, I'll typically forward them on to, for years, Coke Studio, and they'll come back to me years later saying, man, I learned so much. And the dance the people were doing in the back, that's actually an ancient form. I recognized it when I was a kid from cultural festivals. It's an ancient form of like Pashtun dance from Afghanistan, modern day Afghanistan. Pretty cool video. And the mountain, it's interesting you mentioned like how the terrain reminded you of where you live in East Texas. Sorry, West Texas, pardon me.
West Texas, yeah.
Pardon me, way different place. But northern Pakistan is like, I think holds 14 of the top 20 peaks in the world. So slightly different than
Ooh.
maybe West Texas.
Dang. And honestly, like I said the same thing about Mongolia. I was like, this reminds me of home. Like everything reminds me of here. So
Say what you will about that little closed mouth sort of not singing, like very stubborn style, but like, it got me. I liked it. Pretty sure she's like from here, the United States.
I mean, if she's not, her accent is
Well, I will say this, as far as English goes, English is an official language of Pakistan.
really.
Because look at me, I don't understand 3 of the videos we just saw, or 4 of the videos, because it's in different languages. I can pick up things, but those people speak English and Urdu for my benefit. People who speak Urdu only are people of privilege in Pakistan. It's a whole other history class, but they speak Urdu because my people came over from India and created or helped create the country and sort of started running it, sort of imposed language, and there were regional languages there, and
Yeah.
that's how you end up as English as the official language. And Urdu, in case you don't understand Urdu, learn English. So you to talk to each other.
The great equalizer,
Yeah,
for better or for worse.
for better or for worse.
And as an artist, and I don't know, maybe you'll look at me differently, but as a musical artist who I make music videos, but for me it's I always wonder, like, there's such a big investment in music videos, and I'm like, well,
They're really trying to preserve the culture.
yeah.
And it is a musical culture that lends itself to being preserved in the median of video and music. It's music, that's the culture, right? That's literally the culture. So like, I can guarantee you anybody involved in that whole process is eager to put that video together. I would be. There's a want and there's a need for it, and there's definitely like demand for it.
Yeah, and that's another thing, the demand, right? We keep having this generational talk, right? But I think that the younger generations are super visual, and they want it, but perhaps it's also a need to have that,
Yeah,
to
yeah,
have video, to have visual,
yeah.
right? And even better if the visual is captivating, like this one is.
It's captivating. Okay, well, that was Harkalay from Coke Studio Season 15.
Yeah.
Till the next time.
Bye-bye.